Oh, hello, Facebook. All right, I am gonna try to get Instagram to go live as well. Yesterday it was an issue. There we go. I think it's gonna go today. All right. Hey, Instagram, welcome. All right, friends, we are on day 3 of the gratitude challenge. And I am excited because I've been looking forward to this specific day all week. We're going to talk about retraining your brain and how that's actually possible. There's actually science behind it. And of course, it's one of my favorite things to do because it incorporates essential oils into the mix. I'm also excited because I refilled my coffee cup with some whipped cream on top because it's Wednesday. Wednesdays are for whipped cream on your coffee. Okay, so here's the thing is that I'm also excited about I'm also excited because I read a testimonial yesterday that was amazing, and I wanted to share it with you a little bit. I won't share who it is. Hey, Carol. But she said that she just found out her kids are going remote learning, which she had been anticipating, as we all probably are, those with kids. And but she'd been dreading it too because here's the thing, it messes with our lives, right? Like those of us that work from home, and then we add our kids to the mix, and it's just it messes with us. But she had some time to herself yesterday, and she got to thinking about the gratitude challenge, and she started listing off her gratitudes. She goes, the list was way longer than I anticipated, and it really helped me reevaluate and shift my mindset so that she could be thankful for some of the inconveniences that were thrown into her life because of going remote. So hopefully that's the case with you guys. I hope that you are feeling like you're getting some shifts in your mindset because of this active practice of gratitude. If you're part of the subscription to Gratitude Challenge, you got a special something in your email yesterday. I printed mine off. BOGOs are messing with me in a really good way, so I haven't actually made my list, but this is going to go in my on my bathroom mirror. Like I have one of those old school like cabinets that opens. It was here when the house was built, and it has a ton of room that I've always wanted to just put all the really motivating, encouraging things. So this is the first one that's going to go up with my gratitude list. All right, so let's talk about retraining our brains, essential emotions. Now, if you are in the essential oils, specifically the doTERRA world, you may know this information already, but it is really, really good stuff, and it requires readers, okay? So I'm going to share my top tips with you from the class. I'm not going to go through the whole class because I actually have this class on YouTube already. So you can go check it out there. But what I wanted to talk to you about was just the highlights of retraining our brain, because it's really, really important with shifting our mindset and changing the way that we look at the trials and tribulations, the different things that hit us and can totally derail us and can spin us in the spiral of fear, of negativity, all sorts of stuff. Okay, so when we have the tools to shift our mindset, it's huge for playing a role in your mental health, okay, and how you view life. And then it goes a little bit further because everybody else that's around you, that's a part of your life, also starts to become aware of these mindset shifts, and their life is better when you're happier, right? Okay, so your body basically is made up of your body, your spirit, your mind. It's a holistic approach to wellness. You're a whole person. You can't function with just one or the other. Your body is made up of intelligent cells, and you all know this, right? You all know that your body is incredibly made, and it has the capability to heal itself, to distribute hormones and chemical releases and balance things and seek out and destroy cells that shouldn't be there, and all of this amazing, amazing stuff. I mean, even just the forming of a baby in utero is fascinating, right? And so if we are careful, and just in general, we have to take care of our bodies. We have to look at it as this holistic approach to wellness. And your emotions are a huge part of that, okay? So your emotions are processed through your body, believe it or not. It is not a separate thing as some people would claim, or would, just maybe I always joke, and if you're in the Midwest, please bear with me, okay? But I always joke that in the Midwest, we're a little bit behind the times. We're a little bit slower to come around, which is not a bad thing at all. But, in the Midwest, we don't typically associate emotions and your body as part of it, okay? So your emotions contain 3 brains: your mind, which is your logic and your intellect. Your subconscious mind directs over 90% of your behavior. This is why when something happens negative, or you're unaware that it's a surprise, whatever you've been trained and conditioned with over the years, and generally what you learn is by age 5, that will totally take control in that that situation where you're surprised and you're unexpecting. Whatever you've been conditioned and learned to deal with, that's the way that you will deal with it, okay? So 90% of your behavior is directed by your subconscious mind. Then we have our heart, which is our intuition. We all know that with our intuition, we get that feeling, and some of us, I feel like it's one of those things that the more that we hone into our intuition, the more that we are aware of it. And but the more that we push it away, the more it's kind of like a dull voice. We don't hear it as much, okay? So there are more neural pathways that run from the heart to the brain than from the brain to the heart. So your intuition is so important. It plays such a huge role in directing your brain, because your brain is going to go with that subconscious behavior, that subconscious thinking 90% of the time, right? So any of that conditioned learned behavior, it is just going to go with it. So your intuition needs to become this active part of your life in order to retrain your brain, okay? And then your gut. 90% of the body's serotonin involved in mood management is produced in the gut. Serotonin is a chemical messenger that's believed to act as a mood stabilizer. There's tons of science behind this, okay? So go research serotonin and gut health and all of that, because you'll find that your gut, if you do not have a healthy gut, the rest of your body suffers. And specifically, your mind. It is so hard to have a healthy mind, and I'm talking the mood part of your mind specifically, if your gut is unhealthy, okay? 90%. That's nutso, okay? So there's lots of oils that play a part in this, and you can go check out my YouTube channel for more of that. But I wanted to, this is my favorite part, talk you through this scenario, okay? So this is a made-up scenario. There's a couple different ones because I think this is important and not everybody can relate to the one. So we have this life experience, and say you are a young mom, which was me when I started oils, okay? Well, I don't know young, but I had young babies, okay? So you have stressors involved. You have a baby crying, you have a dog barking, your phone's ringing, you're boiling noodles on the stove, and they've just spilled milk as well. So you've got all these things stressing and vying for your attention. And when you're processing that, you have choices. You can either, be like, okay, I think I'll figure this out, with just going with that logic. Or, oh my gosh, I feel so overwhelmed. I'm so stuck. I have no clue what to do, which is your gut playing a part in that all, your intuition playing a part in it. And so your reaction, it actually has a chemical reaction in your body. All of those, like, I have to figure this out, I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, those all play a part and actually change the chemistry in your body. So you may be like, oh my gosh, I can't figure this out, and immediately you start to get a headache, right? Or you are like, oh my gosh, I feel so overwhelmed, I don't know what to do, and your heart kind of starts beating faster, and you're just like, oh, and you get these butterflies and this pit in your stomach, and maybe you have to go to the bathroom right away. Like, there's lots of different things that, because of the emotional stressors that we're in, then your body, it responds. And when you don't know when your body doesn't know what's going on, or how to respond because you haven't trained it, that overwhelm, that I'm stuck, that, oh my gosh, it takes over, okay? So in this world right now, you know that the stressors, because of, remote learning, going into the holidays and not knowing who you should be around and if you should be around anyone, right? Wearing a mask all the time. And besides the fact that we're going into eating different foods than we normally do, being around different people than we normally do. So even if you are not exposed to anything drastic, just the common stuff, your body, it's new germs, right? So your body is like, okay, what's going on? So when we react in a certain way every single time, that becomes our belief about the situation. Okay, so if anytime in those overwhelming, I'm so stressed out, and I react with, I'm so stressed out, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, then it becomes my belief. And every time that situation happens, my belief is, I guess I'm screwed. Like, and you just go into that negative. Okay, so the cool thing is that you can retrain your brain. So if you've been stuck in that for 15, 20, 30 years, whatever the case, and you've always just automatically gone that way, you can retrain your brain and you can start to function out of a different belief, okay? So let's think of it this way, okay? If you have a dog and you have a fenced-in backyard, and let's say you live on a really busy corner, and your backyard is that corner of those two busy streets where they connect, and you let your dog out in the backyard, and it immediately just starts tracing, like walking the fence line, and because it's, seeing what's out there, it's trying to ward off the cars and barking at the cars and whatever. So it's just, over time, it begins to wear this route along the fence line, and it starts to, the grass starts to be matted down and disappear and becomes dirt, and then it becomes almost this little like tunnel, this pathway. We have a pathway in our field where this little creature, probably a possum, it's taken the exact same route for years now, so that the path is worn. It's like a little tunnel. No grass grows there. You can trace it. I should show you guys a picture. It's amazing. So that's what happens with that dog. You let it out, traces the same place every single day. That is like when we're overwhelmed in those situations and we react in the same way. And then we become stuck, and that's our belief. Okay? So when you want to stop your dog from tracing that line around your fence, right? You'd love to grow the grass back. You'd like it to stop barking at all the cars and whatever. And so you start to leave a dish of food in the middle of the yard. And, for a while, the dog's like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to really go in the middle of the yard because the grass is taller and it's not used to stepping on grass. And so it may take some big coaxing, and it may take some time for that dog to start going to the middle of the yard for its food. Now, over time, the dog will start to always go to the middle of the yard first, because that's where its food is. That's where you go out and play with it. That's where you've trained the dog that there's special things in the middle of the yard and it doesn't need to go to the side of the yard. And maybe you put blocks, like some type of deterrent, on those pathways around the fence line to keep the dog from going there. So it's a warning sign. Every time it starts to head down that path to go around the fence, it sees that block, it sees that warning sign. The same is true with you and with me. So if we have, I would encourage you to pick one thing to start with, and this is how I encourage everybody that's starting with oils to pick one thing, one health concern, and then go from there, okay? So you pick your one thing that you want to focus on. And for me, it was the overwhelm at home when the kids were acting like kids and getting into everything and leaving messes everywhere, and I felt overwhelmed. I would grab my bottle of Balance. It's my favorite, one of my favorite oils of all time. Balance is so grounding and calming, and it's delicious. So I would grab my bottle of Balance and I would try to remove myself from the situation. But if not, I would just take some deep breaths. And then I would put a drop, comes out slow, on my palm, rub my palms together, and then breathe it in. And so you don't have to touch your face with the oil. You're just breathing it in, okay? Several deep breaths, as well as, just taking some time to breathe in, deep breaths in of the oil, deep breaths in just on your own, okay? And then, I might rub the excess on the back of my neck. Pulse points are good, so along my wrists. And in that moment, I'm also saying to myself some things like, it's going to be okay. They're just kids. I'm so thankful that I get to be a part of their life. Just trying to, in that moment where I have always believed that I was overwhelmed and that I was stuck and it was just going to be that way, to retrain my brain that, oh my gosh, it's so funny to see how kids react in a situation, and what would it like to be two again when I had not a care in the world. And I'm so thankful for this oil that helps me to balance my hormones and my mood. And here's the beautiful thing is that if in that situation, not only are you retraining your thoughts and your behavior and your patterns, but that balance is going into your bloodstream and it's circulating through your system, and it is calming you down. It's saying, oh my gosh, she has way too many of this hormone or this chemical in her body right now. You got to shut that process off. And we got to release these chemicals and these hormones that are going to help calm her down and balance her out. So every time that I use that oil, it brings me back to what we call this homeostasis, where things are more centered and grounded and calm. So every time that you take these oils in and you take a moment to be grateful for the situation, like we talked about the last couple of days, changing our mindset on this, so we're switching how we think about this from overwhelm, from stress, from I don't know what to do, to I can figure this out. I'm so grateful that my intuition is leading me in this situation. I'm so grateful for these oils, for these tools. And it could be a breathing. Maybe you don't have oils, or you don't, it's not your thing yet. Notice I said yet. Maybe you just take this alarm on your watch or on your phone, and it's a breathing pattern. So every hour you take a minute just to breathe, and in that moment you'll realize what you are believing in that moment. Like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. I gotta get it all done. And then when you are reminded on your watch to breathe for a second and take a second out, you go, oh, yeah, I was feeling really stressed out in that situation. I'm going to calm down right now. Yes, balance and adaptive, Betsy said, is amazing. I bet that is absolutely delicious. I need to actually put that in a roll. I don't know if I ever have. So thanks, Betsy. So if you are wondering where to start with this oil thing, message me. But I love this emotions wheel, and if you're part of the subscription box, you will get some things like this in your, not subscription box, but you're subscribed to this gratitude challenge, and you can do that over at essentialseveryday.com/gratitude. You will find some mood oils, and they come in a set you can get started with. If you're new to doTERRA, if you already have an account, you can order those, and really they walk you through, and this wheel comes with that, this emotion wheel comes with that set, and it will walk you through like, oh, I'm feeling hurt, or I'm feeling apathetic or gloomy, and it will show you which oil you should choose. And then you can apply that topically, like I said, to the pulse points. The back of your neck to that this muscle band is a really great spot to put the oil to get into your brain and your bloodstream. Also applying it to, or putting it in a diffuser. There's so many different ways, and it's so helpful to, when you're using an oil, to use it in all the different ways, internally, topically, and aromatically if possible. Sometimes you can only do it aromatically and topically, but you're going to get some really great benefits. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully it takes you in that next step of retraining your brain. Be watching your inbox today if you're subscribed to the gratitude challenge. If you are watching the replay over on YouTube, I encourage you to leave a comment, and I can connect with you if you want. You can also find more information over on essentialseveryday.com. All right, friends, I hope you have a fantastic day. If you are part of the doTERRA world, or you're interested in oils, there is a fantastic BOGO going on today, so check that out as well. And I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Bye, friends.